What are some organizations and associations to help you grow your cleaning business? That's a great question, and we're going to talk about it today. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, today's show is brought to us by House Call Pro, and this is the #1 service software for service professionals. So let's say, for example, you go to a customer's house and you get there and you're locked out. So then you got to stop what you're doing and call the customer and they don't answer because they're at work. It's a nightmare, right? Well, it doesn't have to be a nightmare, and you don't have to waste the time and money because House Call Pro does a whole bunch of things in the background, like it contacts your customers and it says, hey, Mrs. Jones, remember that Angela's coming to your house to clean tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. And then it will give a price if you want, and you can tailor that message so that she knows how much money she's supposed to leave the door unlocked and all of those things. So you never have a lockout. Thank you, House Call Pro. So check it out, housecallpro.com/Angela. And they've set up a special for me and my friends. I know, it's super exciting. housecallpro.com/Angela. All right, on to today's show. This is an awesome question about organizations and associations to help you grow your cleaning business. All right, now, when we're small business owners, we want to do it all by ourselves because we are the king of our business. But the reality is nobody goes at it alone. So organizations and associations offer a whole bunch of different opportunities for a small business owner so that you don't have to go at it alone. So let's say, for example, that you jump in a Facebook group and you have other peers that you network with, and you ask questions and you get good ideas from them. The organizations and associations are just like that, but it's live. And they have these live events around the country where you actually show up in person and you meet eyeball to eyeball with other peers, other industry experts, leaders in the industry, and people that can help you grow your business. So joining us today is an expert in the industry. She's got this massive organization that goes all the way across the country, and she has cleaning branches all across the country, and her company is called Castle Keepers. And she is the COO and partner of Castle Keepers, and her name is Liz Trotter. I know you've seen her because she's back by popular demand. I know, super exciting. So I've asked Liz if she'll share with us what are the best organizations and associations to build that cleaning empire. So let's hear it for Liz Trotter.
I would say that there are three basic associations that I've used, actually four, probably more, but I'm going to give you the top four. And I'm going to use the term association kind of loosely, all right? So the first one is ARCSI, and that actually is an association of Residential Cleaning Services International. That was probably the first big association that I joined that made the biggest impact for me and my company. The second one is IICRC. And the third one is, you guys are gonna laugh, Facebook. Facebook is an association, right? Different Facebook groups, etc. And then the fourth one is BNI. So it's a local association. I'm sure you guys all know a lot about. And there's other BNI lookalikes. We have one here that's not actually BNI, but it's a local version. So those are the four that I personally really have gotten a lot out of. That has really grown my company.
Let's start with the first one real quick, the ARCSI. Share with us, I mean, this one costs money. This is not free to join. Tell us, how long have you been in business before you joined it, and how did you justify the cost?
So I'm probably not the best example here because I had been in business a long time before I joined ARCSI. I was one of their very first members. I justify the cost because at that time, I had been like an insular company. I didn't even know that you could connect with other companies, and hooked up with ARCSI. It was not expensive back in the day. It was brand new. And it wasn't expensive, but it was an expense. My company was a little bit more mature, obviously, than some newer companies. So justifying the expense wasn't really a deal at that time. It wasn't something I had to concern myself with. But what I can say is, even if I'd been brand new, and if it was a stretch, it would have been an excellent place for me to stick some of my money. I learned some of my best lessons from AirCSI back in the day.
Do you still go to the meetings today?
Yeah, AirCSI is national, right? And you don't usually go there except for the convention once a year, and then sometimes they will have regional meetings. We had one here in Seattle not that long ago, and I go to all of them. I go to every single one of them, and people are like, "But Liz, you've been going to these for all these years. You've been in business for how many years now?" Yep. And I learn something new every single time from somebody. There's always somebody teaching something about something I don't know or that has changed.
Do you go to network with the people that are there?
Number one reason I go is to network. Education is great. I like to take the education though and combine it with the experience of all the people that already have this information. What have they done with this information? And that networking piece is that's like the secret sauce in my mind. Just the information all by itself, it's like I can buy a book. It's going to tell me how to do everything. Anything that anybody talks about, there's a book out there telling you that. I need to know how to make it happen. How do we really get the oomph? They're not working.
So it's a great way to connect with industry peers that are in the cleaning business.
Absolutely. I like to call them the big wigs. I can remember the first time I met Tom Stewart, who's my business partner now. I saw him, and this is actually how I felt looking up to him. He's younger than me. He'd been in business fewer years than I had been, but he was the president of AirCSI. Wherever you are, there's always somebody that has more experience, more knowledge, more information than you have. I know for me, I'm sure that's true for you as well, Angela. You're still learning new stuff. And so I'm always in for learning more.
Now, that takes me to the next question because you said Facebook is one of the associations that you joined. And I will agree with you. It is one of the best tools I've ever used in my business. But
Right?
share with us how you use it to grow your cleaning business.
There's a few different things that I do with Facebook. One is you meet people through Facebook that you might never meet. You're a perfect example for me, Angela. Had I not been a member of Facebook, I would not even know who you are. And how ridiculous is that to me to even think about, right? How would I not know who Angela Brown is if I
You
wasn't on
want to know
Facebook?
something really cool? One of the very first Facebooks that I ever joined was yours. And I was so impressed because somebody recommended your Facebook group. And I said, this is really awesome. This is a lady that understands house cleaning and she's all about tidying up and all these things. And you had all these helpful tips. And I was like, I don't even know how this technology thing works. And here's this lady that's already figured it out. And I joined your Facebook group and I'm like, yes, I've arrived. So that was super exciting because I've been following you for years.
Isn't that funny? And we sort of have the same exact experience. I'm like, wow, it's Angela Brown's YouTube channel. What the heck? But I never would have seen it if it hadn't been for Facebook. I'm not a big YouTuber, right? I'm older, so that's not a natural go-to place for me. So Facebook is what introduced me to you and YouTube. And all right, so that's the first thing, introduction to lots of different people. Then the Facebook groups, there are a lot of different types of groups out there that have a lot of different conversations. Now, you got to be careful in the different groups, right? Because you're going to get a lot of information. Some of the information is amazing. And then there's also some information that you should probably maybe not. And so you have to be just like in life, right? If you're talking to somebody, you need to be paying attention to the good stuff and ignoring the stuff that doesn't work for you. But there's a lot more exposure on Facebook. And then the second thing is I am also a member of a few private groups. I have one group that I'm a member of that is a paid group. And so I pay money to be a member of this group every month. And it's more of a mastermind group where we all work together we sort of try to use scale, where all of the people work together and our resources all go for different things. So all of our money goes together and we do some marketing. All of our money goes together and we do, whatever it is that we're working on. And also, really, the funny thing is, my best friends are all on Facebook. 90% of them are cleaning business related. And some of them I see once a year, maybe twice a year.
You said BNI, and BNI has been brought up in many of our Facebook groups as people wondering, how do you use that to build your business?
BNI is all about like local networking. And in our businesses, we really need to have more local connection, right? The the more well known that you're known locally, obviously, the more calls you're going to get. So BNI is a way to get your name out there, get your branding out there, get people to try your service, and not just BNI, any of those local networking groups. There's a ton of them out there. The BNI-ish ones are great because people will give your company a try that might never have tried you before. And I don't know, if you're like me, you're going to make it easy for them to share your name and share your company and share your stats. And it's just an easy way, or in my mind, easy way to grow your company. But unless you're a little bit like me, and it doesn't seem like it, I'm a little bit of an introvert. It's not easy for me to go to the networking meetings. I'm like, oh, I got to make myself do it, you know? But then I always am glad I did every single time. I'm 100% happy that I went.
Well, the thing that I hear you saying that's a common thread through all the different associations and the Facebook and the BNI, the different groups that you've belonged to, is the networking. This is the consistent
Yeah,
thread that I hear, is that you keep showing
yeah,
up and that you keep presenting yourself and you keep interacting with people. And even on Facebook, it's engagement with other people. It's liking their posts, it's participating, it's being involved in the conversations. And you showed up for my show. So yay, again, here you are networking. And I'm so pleased to have you on our show today and that you joined us because this is networking at a maximum level. And so you may pretend to be an introvert, but I'm going to say you are the master of networking. You've got this figured out. What a great example.
you can do it. Fake it till you make it, right?
All right, that, my friends, was the amazing Liz Trotter. Liz, thank you so much for joining us today. Your information is always valuable, always helpful, and spot on. So thank you so much for joining us. All right, if you found this helpful, please pass it on to a friend. If you've earned your subscription, please subscribe. And until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.